Have you ever experienced a divine encounter where you could feel and contemplate the very presence of Jesus Christ? A mysterious and supernatural event occurred in the quiet town of Santa Lucia, nestled among the picturesque green hills of northern Italy. The extraordinary story came to life through a boy named Giovanni, who had an angelic appearance and bright eyes that immediately captured the attention of the entire community. Giovanni claimed to have had a direct conversation with the Redeemer, shaking the foundations of the religious congregation and sparking a heated debate about faith, miracles, and divinity. Giovanni, a boy of only 11 years old at the time, came from a modest family of farmers and was renowned for his innate benevolence and his habit of spending long hours in solitude in the surrounding fields, often immersed in reading the Holy Scriptures or in silent prayer. His devotion made him a revered young man in the community, but no one could have imagined that he would become the protagonist of such an extraordinary story. Everything happened on a splendid spring morning when Giovanni went to the modest temple of Santa Lucia for his devout morning prayer routine. As he knelt in contemplation, the lamps in the sanctuary seemed to come to life, and a sense of tranquility and the magnificent divine presence filled the room. The faithful present, including the venerable parish priest, witnessed a radiant glow surrounding the boy, whose face radiated profound serenity. Later, Giovanni shared his account of that extraordinary experience, during which he felt a warm and loving presence beside him. This presence manifested as Jesus Christ himself. The young boy claimed to have seen the kind face of the Redeemer and heard the loving words that flowed from his lips. The news of this encounter quickly spread among the inhabitants of Santa Lucia, arousing disbelief, amazement, and longing. The community, rooted in its traditional devotion and close ties to the Church, found itself divided between those who embraced Giovanni's testimony as a genuine miracle and those who remained skeptical, fearing it might be a deception or an episode of suggestion. After this extraordinary event, young Giovanni became the center of attention for the media at both local and national levels. Journalists, theologians, and curious individuals flocked to Santa Lucia in search of answers. The entire community found itself immersed in a media and religious whirlwind, where contrasting opinions clashed in the taverns and squares of the town. This encounter, which seemed divine, would forever transform Giovanni's life and cast a shadow of mystery over the peaceful town of Santa Lucia. In the course of this chronicle, we will delve deeper into Giovanni's experience and the community's reactions, seeking to uncover the meaning and impact of this extraordinary claim. The protagonist of this incredible story was an 11-year-old boy with an attractive appearance, chestnut hair, and deep eyes that seemed to reflect a kind soul. He was the youngest in a family of local farmers, widely recognized in the community for their dedication to the land and their deep faith. His childhood passed simply and serenely, characterized by the routine of school, helping his parents with farm work, and participating in the town's religious festivities. From an early age, Giovanni showed an unusual interest in religion and spirituality. As a child, he developed the habit of immersing himself in the Holy Scriptures for long hours and spent his free time meditating in the ancient woods that stretched across the family fields. His devotion raised him above his peers in the parish, although no one could have foreseen the miracles he would experience. Giovanni's extraordinary revelation emerged during a family dinner. One evening, while sitting at the table, Giovanni suddenly stopped, showing an expression that mixed surprise and joy, and said, "Today, Mother and Father, I have spoken with Jesus." Initially, his parents thought it was a joke, but the solemnity that shone in their son's eyes convinced them that something extraordinary had happened. Enthusiastically, Giovanni shared his experience, describing the atmosphere of peace in the sacred place and the warm embrace he had felt beside him. He recounted that, unexpectedly, Jesus had appeared to him with a luminous glow. According to Giovanni's account, Christ's words were full of sweetness and love. Giovanni listened attentively and desired to communicate to the world what he had learned. This statement caused an immediate outpouring of emotion and amazement in Giovanni's family. At first, his parents feared that their son might need psychological assistance, but his firm conviction and serenity in recounting the experience made them reconsider. They understood that they needed to address the situation with the seriousness and compassion it deserved. The news of Giovanni's encounter with Jesus quickly spread throughout the town, triggering a wave of reactions. Friends, relatives, and neighbors were divided between disbelief and hope. The parish was immersed in a state of unease, with many faithful gathering at the Church of Santa Lucia to pray and seek a similar spiritual experience. The young Giovanni's statements had raised deep questions in everyone's mind. Was such an extraordinary encounter really possible? Did it represent a divine proof or a challenge to the deepest faith? As the debate intensified within the community, the attention of the media and national channels focused on Santa Lucia, ready to meticulously examine Giovanni's astonishing story and his heavenly experience. Giovanni had described in great detail his extraordinary experience with Jesus. According to his account, while immersed in prayer in the church, a golden light began to spread, illuminating the place in an almost magical way. A sense of peace and serenity enveloped him, making him forget everything else. At a specific moment, Giovanni perceived a presence beside him. Slowly turning his face, he found himself face to face with a man recognized only through the sacred images of the Bible, Jesus Christ. The figure of Jesus was surrounded by a dazzling light, however, his gaze radiated love and lacked severity. According to Giovanni's account, Jesus began speaking to him with a calm voice. Inquiring about his love for faith and fraternity, he shared profound spiritual lessons, urging the young boy to spread love and compassion throughout the world. Giovanni claimed that Jesus' presence filled him with an inexplicable serenity and joy. However, he was given a mission: to spread messages of faith and hope among his peers. Giovanni's announcement about the divine encounter elicited various reactions in the community of Santa Lucia. Some, driven by their deep faith and reverence for Giovanni's family, immediately embraced the young boy's testimony as a genuine miracle. They recounted experiencing a profound spirituality while visiting the church where the encounter had taken place and raising their prayers with renewed fervor. However, not everyone was willing to accept this extraordinary story. Some members of the community expressed skepticism and raised questions about the authenticity of Giovanni's experience. There were those who considered the possibility that he was a lively dreamer or even an illusion. The discussion sometimes became heated, with passionate disputes between those who saw Giovanni as a prophet and those who questioned the truth of his account. The parish, now at the center of controversy, sought to maintain its neutrality and encouraged the faithful to pray for guidance and wisdom. The intensity and breadth of the debate reached a level that attracted the attention of national and international media. Journalists and theologians traveled to Santa Lucia to interview Giovanni, his family, and members of the congregation. The town found itself at the center of unprecedented attention, with opinions and conjectures proliferating rapidly. Amidst all this clamor, Giovanni remained calm and steadfast in his account, stating that his mission was to benefit everyone. The story of Giovanni and his encounter with Jesus had deeply shaken the community of Santa Lucia, opening a wide range of reactions, discussions, and reflections on faith, spirituality, and the possibility of modern miracles. The community remained divided between hope in a divine revelation and caution towards the unusual. Months passed, and Giovanni continued to live with the firm belief that he had a special mission. He dedicated his days to spreading messages of love, compassion, and hope to anyone willing to listen. Many residents of Santa Lucia continued to frequent the church, raising prayers and hoping to experience a spiritual connection similar to what Giovanni claimed to have lived. The chronicle of Giovanni and his encounter with Jesus remained one of the most extraordinary and controversial stories in the country. As media attention slowly began to wane, the story itself continued to evolve. Now an adult, Giovanni began organizing small gatherings in the Church of Santa Lucia, sharing teachings of faith, hope, and love with anyone interested. However, the controversy over the authenticity of the event did not fade. Religious scholars and sages continued to examine the narrative in search of evidence or more precise explanations. The local community struggled to cope with the constant influx of curious and believers who came from all over the country to hear Giovanni's words. Giovanni's story and his encounter with the divine had challenged faith and uncertainty, questioning the boundaries between what is considered possible and what is intangible in a world where science and spirituality often seem to follow divergent paths. Although the future remained shrouded in uncertainty, one thing was clear: Giovanni's story and his encounter with the heavenly would leave an indelible mark on the community of Santa Lucia for future generations. Amidst all this, it became known that even Russian President Vladimir Putin had been informed of Giovanni's incredible story. In one of his rare statements on spirituality, Putin remarked that Giovanni's account had piqued his interest, considering the event as a possible sign of the connection between faith and the destiny of peoples. In a public speech, Putin said, "Faith is a powerful force that can unite nations and guide us toward a brighter future." Giovanni's story reminds us that there are things beyond our understanding that can bring light and hope in the darkest moments. If you want to read more stories of faith like this, write "I want it" below in the comments. See you soon.